Friends of my youth, Mr. Suresh Mathur, written by Ruskin Bond. Dehra was going through a slump in those days, and there was not much work for anyone, least of all for my neighbor Suresh Mathur, an income tax lawyer who was broke for two reasons. To begin with, there was not much work going around, as those with taxable income were few and far between. Apart from that, when he did get work, he was slow and half hearted about getting it done. This was because he seldom got up before 11 in the morning, and by the time he took a bus down from Rajpur and reached his own small office, which was next door to my rooms, or the income tax office a little further on, it was lunchtime and all the tax officials were out. Suresh would then repair to the Royal Cafe for a beer or two, often at my expense, and this would stretch into a gin and tonic, after which he would stagger up to his first floor office and collapse on the sofa for an afternoon nap. He would wake up at 6 after the income tax office had closed. I occupied two rooms next to his office, and we were on friendly terms, sharing an enthusiasm for the humorous works of P.G. Wodehouse. I think he modeled himself on Bertie Wooster, for he would often turn up wearing mauve or yellow socks or a pink shirt and bright green tie, enough to make anyone in his company feel quite liverish. Unlike Bertie Wooster, he did not have a Jeeves to look after him and get him out of various scrapes. I tried not to be too friendly, as Suresh was in the habit of borrowing lavishly from all his friends, conveniently forgetting to return the amounts. I was not well off and could ill afford the company of a spendthrift friend. Dehra in those days was full of people living on borrowed money or no money at all. Hence, the large number of disconnected telephone and electric lines. I did not have electricity myself, simply because the previous tenant had taken off, leaving me with outstandings of over 1,000 rupees, then a princely sum. My monthly income seldom exceeded 500 rupees. No matter. There was plenty of kerosene available, and the oil lamp lent a romantic glow to my literary endeavors. Looking back, I am amazed at the number of people who were quite broke. There was William Matheson, a Swiss journalist whose remittances from Zurich never seemed to turn up. My landlady, whose husband had deserted her 2 years previously. Mr. Madan, who dealt in second hand cars which no one wanted. The owner of the corner restaurant, who sat in his solitary splendor surrounded by empty tables, and the proprietor of the Idea Book Depot, who was selling off his stock of unsold books and becoming a departmental store. We complain that few people buy or read books today, but I can assure you that there were even fewer customers in the 50s and 60s. Only doctors, dentists, and the proprietors of English schools were making money. Suresh spent whatever cash came his way and borrowed more. He had an advantage over the rest of us. He owned an old bungalow inherited from his father up at Rajpur in the foothills, where he lived alone with an old manservant. And owing a property gave him some standing with his creditors. The grounds boasted of a mango and lychee orchard, and these he gave out on contract every year so that his friends did not even get to enjoy some of his produce. The proceeds helped him to pay his office rent in town with a little leftover to give small amounts on account to the owner of the royal cave. Thank you for listening. Now, some of the words used in the above passage and their meanings. The Royal Cafe set. Cafe, CAFE, cafe means a small restaurant selling light meals and drinks. Dehra was going through a slump in those days. Slump, SLUMP, slump means a sudden, severe, and prolonged fall in price. SLUMP, slump means a sudden, severe, and prolonged fall in values, prices, etc. To begin with, there was not much work going around, as those with taxable incomes were few and far between. Few and far between means scarce. Few and far between means infrequent. This was because he seldom got up before 11 in the morning. Seldom means rarely. Suresh would then repair to the Royal Cafe. Repair to a place means to go to another place, usually in a group of people. After which he would stagger up to his first floor office and collapse on the sofa. Stagger, STAGGER. Stagger means walk or move unsteadily. I think he modeled himself on Bertie Wooster, for he would often turn up wearing mauve or yellow socks or a pink shirt and a bright green tie. Mauve, MAUVE, mauve means of a pale purple color. This would enough to make anyone in his company feel quite liverish. Liverish, Liverish. Liverish means not feeling well, usually because of having drunk or eaten too much. Unlike Bertie Wooster, he did not have a Jeeves to look after him and get him out of various scrapes. SCRAPA scrape means an embarrassing situation. I was not well off and could ill afford the company of a spendthrift friend. Spendthrift. Spendthrift. Spendthrift means a person who spends money in an extravagant way. Looking back, I am amazed at the number of people who were quite broke. Mr. Madan, who dealt in second hand cars which no one wanted. The owner of the corner restaurant who sat in solitary splendor surrounding by empty tables. Splendor. Splendor. Splendor means great beauty. Thank you very much.